Hello and welcome to Views on News. I am Jawad Hami. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is undertaking a two-day official visit to Kazakhstan in order to attend twin summits of the SCO, Council of Heads of State, and SCO plus the Pakistan's Foreign Office says, let me quote, the Prime Minister will share Pakistan's perspective on important regional and global issues and underline the importance Pakistan accords to regional connectivity and cooperation with SCO member countries, unquote. Now, 16 world leaders are expected to participate in SCO summit, which is titled as Strengthening Multilateral Dialogue, Striving Towards Sustainable Peace and Prosperity. Of course, stability and security is going to top the agenda of this particular summit. Now, Shanghai Cooperation Organization has 9 members, 3 observers and 14 dialogue partners and represents around 40% of the world's population. Earlier, Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has revealed that members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization will discuss more than 20 major documents during the summit. Let me quickly bring in our panel of guests who are joining us in the studio. Mr. Saeed Khalid is former ambassador. Mr. Khalid, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Also in the studio, we are honored to have been joined by Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram. He is Executive Director, Pakistan Research Center for a Community with Shared Future. Mr. Akram, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Akram, at this particular point in history, as Mr. Khalid has very comprehensively elaborated on what exactly was the need at that particular time when the International Security Assistance Force, that particular forum that was led by, of course, the US, and the kind of war on terror at that particular time, and the kind of threat that was emanating from Afghanistan at that particular time. The regional countries thought to have that multilateral forum to come together at a certain particular common point in order to address those security challenges which might emanate from Afghanistan towards them. What's your understanding?
Yes, initially, as the ambassador has said, it was established with a different aim. But then eventually Shanghai Cooperation Organization evolved, and now we see that it has 9 permanent members, and during this Astana summit, Belarus is expected to become another permanent member. So it's going to have 10 permanent members, and as we know that UAE, Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, and there are many other countries who want to join SCO. SCO has become a regional platform of the South. SCO is not an answer to NATO, because most of the Western media they propagate SCO as an answer to NATO or EU. No, it is neither EU not NATO. It is a platform for cooperation on trade. It is a platform for cooperation on counter-terrorism. We have the RATS headquarter, the Regional Anti-Terrorism Structure headquarter in Tashkent. We have the SCO countries are now looking beyond military cooperation and counter-terrorism cooperation. They are talking about single customs regime. They are talking about bringing in SCO bank in future. They are talking about developing a mechanism so that the SCO countries, which most of them right now are connected through land route, can have more and more trade connectivity among themselves. We have seen that in previous SCO summits in Uzbekistan and then in Tajikistan, we have seen that the most of the agenda revolved around the BRI. Most of the agenda revolved around development of the common goals for trade and connectivity. And during this Astana summit, it is expected that they are going to sign few of the agreements, in which the most significant is the anti-drug strategy from 2024 to 2029. As we know that in this region, narcotics is a major problem. So this anti-drug strategy will be signed over here. And then there will be 2 cooperation programs, one on counter-terrorism and extremism will also be signed, which is 2025 to 2027. So along with that, the leaders are expected to not only talk about the regional cooperation, but they are also going to talk about the regional security cooperation. As we know that the impact of the Russian-Ukraine war is already in the region, but we have seen that SCO has taken a very firm stand that let the problems of the region be solved within the region.
Within the region. So how important is that particular thing, and what kind of a message does it send to the Western world when the SCO members think of resolving the issues within the region is concerned?
Yes, this is very important. We have seen China has already opened up the Afghan embassy in Beijing, and many of the regional countries are talking to the Afghans, and now the regional countries do understand this thing that the Afghan issue is now a regional issue and it has to be resolved within the region. So the regional countries, they are getting together, especially the fight against Daesh, the fight against even Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. TTP is also, Pakistan has been telling Afghanistan and the regional countries that we need to devise a common strategy to fight against terrorism and to enhance the trade among the countries. There is a very clear message to the West that one, China and the Eurasian countries, the regional countries are, they want to enhance their trade among themselves. We have already seen that Pakistan's trade with Kazakhstan, with Azerbaijan, with Uzbekistan, with Tajikistan, it has already started through Afghanistan. And similarly, on the counter-terrorism end, a clear message has been given to the West that let the region to decide its future course of action.
So when you talk of those voices coming that try to equate SCO with NATO or the European Union, and you very categorically said it's neither the EU nor the NATO. So NATO basically a military alliance, and the EU, we've seen the trade cooperation also in that particular multilateral fora. What makes you say so that it's neither NATO nor
yes,
the EU?
because it's not NATO, because if we see that why NATO was established, NATO was basically established to curtail the Soviet Union of that time. And NATO has been playing a role of like spending money all on the development of the arms and ammunition and going around in the world as a NATO force. United Nations already has a UN peacekeeping force. So if there is any force required in any part of the world, the UN is fully capable of sending those forces. So now, after the dismantling of USSR, there is no point of having a joint NATO force in the European continent. And also, if you see the essence of EU, we see that right now there are lots of EU countries who are dissatisfied with the policies of the big players of the EU. We have seen UK breaking out. The Eastern European countries are not happy with the policies of the major European countries like France, Germany, Italy. They are not happy with that, especially their immigration policy, because in last couple of years, all the immigrants have been pushing towards the Eastern Europe. So there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of discontentment among the EU members. On the contrary, if you see the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is now based on the essence of the community of the shared future. In 2013, President Xi Jinping, during his address in Russia, he gave this idea of community of shared future, because this idea basically brings all the 155 Belt and Road countries together without colonizing anything, without making China as a colonizer, because the Western media has been propagating against China that maybe China wants to colonize the world through BRI. But we have seen in last couple of years, especially last 10 years of BRI, that China has been helping the countries. China has spent $1 trillion US just for the trade, for making the road and rail infrastructure all over the world. So 155 countries and all the SCO countries are part of this Belt and Road Initiative. So this SCO, I see SCO tomorrow as an answer to not only the regional trade, but trade amongst the BRI countries, the expansion of the SCO countries, which is happening right now.
That's exactly the point. I'll come back to you, take a deeper understanding regarding that. You already mentioned 155 Belt and Road Initiative countries, and the number of members that we have seen in Shanghai Cooperation Organization that continues to expand, with you already mentioning that Belarus is going to be given the full membership status this time around. Mr. Akram, you already mentioned in your take that a number of important strategies are going to be deliberated upon. Anti-drug strategy, also talked about counter-terrorism and extremism strategy. When we talk about the situation in Afghanistan currently, especially post-international troops withdrawal back in 2021, we've seen a resurgence of terrorism here in Pakistan. There has been a concern that has been expressed by other regional countries, including China, Russia, as well as Iran, towards inability of the interim Afghan de facto authorities of not having done any concrete action against the militant or terrorist organizations which are operating from there. At this particular forum, what could be that particular counter-terrorism strategy that could be deliberated upon and implemented so that that particular threat of terrorism could be addressed in the immediate terms?
Yes, this is quite interesting thing to know, because if you see post the pre-15th August events, whether Taliban or the terrorist organizations in Afghanistan, they were all together on single point agenda, that was to push out the foreign forces. And after 15th August 2021, there was a clear divide between the Taliban and the terrorist organizations. And initially, if you see the statements of the Taliban government, they had repeatedly been saying that the Afghan soil will not be used against any country around the world, including Pakistan. But then later on, we see that because of the present Afghan interim government consists of all the factions of the Afghan system, because we have Haqqanis over there, we have people from Northern Alliance over there, then we have from different areas over there. Since last 2 years, they have not been on a single point, and that is that how to run Afghanistan. And this is a major point of concern for the region, because Pakistan has been talking to the Kabul government, but the Kabul government right now, it seems that they are only restricted in Kabul and Kandahar. In the border areas, they practically have no control. We have seen on the Tajik side, on the Tajik border, since last 1 year, we have seen lots of terrorist attacks and lots of border intrusions towards Tajikistan. Similarly, in Pak-Afghan border side, practically the Afghan government has no control, because the things are being controlled by the warlords. Since last 2 years, Afghanistan has not been able to make any regular national army, because all their national army, they ran away on 15th of August 2021. Then in last 2 years, we have seen again the India's role being increased in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the present Afghan government had been previously sending their police people and their military people for trainings in Pakistan. But we have seen that now they are sending a lot of people, a lot of their so-called soldiers and police people for training to India. And we have seen that they have not been able to control TTP, they have not been able to control Daesh, they have not been able to control, in fact, any kind of terrorist organization. But at the same time, they are very much into the transit trade. If you see the UN statistics, just first 6 months of their coming to power from 15th of August 2021 to 31st December 2021, their transit trade revenue was over $1 billion US. And right now, they are encouraging a lot of transit trade. Even Pakistan is doing transit trade with through Afghanistan to Uzbekistan, and the trucks are even going till Kazakhstan and to Tajikistan also. But at the same time, the present Afghan government, it seems that they have no control over these organizations, and secondly, they do not have the will to do any kind of action. Pakistan has been repeatedly requesting them to take actions against TTP. Recently, Pakistan government has given them clear-cut evidence that in the Dasu attacks, people had come from Afghanistan, they were Afghan national, they attacked over there, but we have seen that either they are incapable, their inability shows that they do not have any control outside Kabul.
Outside Kabul. So that incapacity or inability not to have that particular control over the militant outfits who are operating within the border regions, and they just have the control within Kabul and Kandahar, as you already mentioned. So at this particular forum, being the observer of this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, is there any mechanism now, this consortium of so many regional powers sitting together, is there any chance that they can collectively voice that particular concern towards the de facto authorities in Afghanistan? Look, if you have that incapacity or inability, we are here to cooperate with you to enhance your capacity in order to deal with that threat emanating from Afghan soil. Could that be the option?
Yes, I think that process has already started, because fortunately all the neighboring countries of Afghanistan, whether it be Iran, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, they all are part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and China has been repeatedly spearheading this effort that Afghan government should sit together with the neighboring countries, and they should devise a strategy for containing the terrorist elements. But unfortunately, up till now, the response of the Afghan government has been very, very slow, and they have not been showing any kind of will. But I think that during this SCO conference, the member states are going to push Afghanistan that if they want to have trade, if they want to have a railway line which is going to be coming from Tashkent via Mazar-e-Sharif to Peshawar, if they want to if they want the neighboring countries to accept them, to accept their government, they need to cooperate with their neighboring countries. They need to put action on these terrorist organizations, and above all, they need to give a clear-cut message to these terrorist organizations. Look, there is no place for them in Afghanistan. But till that time, I am afraid that the neighboring countries will also not enhance their trade cooperation with Afghanistan, because the traders, because the businessmen are very much afraid for going in Afghanistan.
To the detriment of the people in Afghanistan, is that how the equation is going to be?
Yes, and I personally think that China and Russia are going to play a greater role in Afghanistan in days to come, because we have seen even Kazakhstan very recently, they welcomed a delegation of Taliban government, and they had they had amended their list of the terrorist organizations, and now in most of the Central Asian countries and China, Taliban are no more banned organization, and they have practically accepted them as a government. Saudi Arabia is thinking of opening their embassy again in Afghanistan, and I feel that during this Astana summit, there will be a very clear message to the Afghan government that they have to cooperate with the regional countries if they want to be partner in prosperity, if they want to be partners in development. And this is what our Prime Minister has been saying to the Taliban government, even yesterday in Astana also, and even today in yesterday in Dushanbe also, and today in Astana also.
Right. Mr. Akram, role of Pakistan being the full member of the SCO as compared to India's role as the full member of the SCO, as already mentioned, that Indian head of the state is not there. It is being represented by the Minister of External Affairs there now, this time around.
Well, this is a very interesting phenomena, because last year during the G7 meeting, India has announced spice route as parallel to Belt and Road Initiative. We know India's role in SAARC. India has been downplaying SAARC, and practically India has made SAARC as a dead horse. India is, although India became a full member of SAARC along with Pakistan, with SCO, along with Pakistan in 2017, but ever since then we have seen that the Indians have left no stone unturned in trying to making SCO as a redundant organization, but they do not realize this thing, that SCO is not SAARC, and India is not sitting on the driving force of SCO. On main driving force is the China and then Russia. So whether India is there or not there, they are going to be sufferers because it is a major regional organization. Last year we have seen India downplaying SCO. They organized G7, they organized G20, but last year in July they opted to have the the SCO head of the state conference online, which was a clear message that they are siding with the West, they are sitting on their boat, and they will leave no stone unturned to downplay SCO. And the major indication coming from Indian side was on July 4, 2023, once they organized the SCO head of the state conference online, which was very strange to China, which was very strange to all the member countries. And this year we have seen that although Mr. Modi is now elected PM for the third time, but he opted to stay out. Again, this is a clear message to the West, this is a clear message to them that India would not be playing an active role in the SCO. But India does not realize one thing, that SCO cannot be compared with SARC, and SCO will flourish, SCO will expand to maybe in next 10 years you would find all Belt and Road countries becoming part of the SCO framework. So this thing is very clear that India has taken its sides. They are even not part of the Belt and Road initiative. They have announced their own spice route, which God knows that when they are going to make it, who's going to give money, because all the countries who are in the spice route, none of them has pledged any money to India, and India does not have that kind of money that they would bring, that they would make so much of the route.
Right, so you already talked about the message they're trying to send to the West, the Indians, by this particular approach towards the SCO. So what sort of message should be taken by the SCO member states?
I think SCO member states should not bother about India actively participating in this or not, because right now, even if India does not participate in the platform actively, even then with the expansion of SCO, more than 40% of the world is already there in the SCO, and which is likely to be expanded to almost 60-70% of the world in days and years to come. But India should realize one thing, that this is a regional framework, this is a regional platform for trade, and because tomorrow the SCO trade regime will have many benefits for the member countries. So if India opts out of that, the India's trade with the regional countries will suffer. It will because the SCO platform provides a win-win situation to the member countries. But if India decides to opt out of it or to stay quiet on it, then India's trade with the regional countries in times to come is expected to suffer.
Right. How do you analyze Pakistan's commitment to the Shanghai spirit as compared to India's approach?
Yes, Pakistan is fully committed to Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and this year Pakistan is going to attain the chairmanship of the head of the state, head of the governments, and hopefully by the end of this year Pakistan is going to chair many important meetings of the SCO, and the Pakistan is going to be the next year Pakistan is going to be assume the chairmanship of the SCO, and I'm sure that under Pakistan's chairmanship of SCO, many new countries will join SCO. Pakistan is very strongly committed to SCO. Pakistan has already adopted all the SCO framework since 2017, and Pakistan has been actively participating in all the SCO activities. Right now, one of the Assistant Secretary General of the SCO is Pakistani, and I'm sure that in days to come Pakistan's commitment to SCO will increase, and through SCO and CPEC Pakistan is going to enhance regional cooperation with the Central Asian countries, because the CPAC is not only for Pakistan and China, but it is a land route for the Central Asian countries. And now all those Central Asian countries who used to call themselves as landlocked, now if you go to the Central Asian countries, they call themselves now as land linked, and they see Pakistan and they see Peshawar as their gateway to the Arabian Sea, and which is very, very encouraging for Pakistan.
One quick last comment. What does this expansion of SCO signify? As we know, it continues to expand. Very quick last comment regarding that.
I think that the Belt and Road Initiative, which consists of the infrastructure thing, they now need a mechanism for trade and a mechanism for cooperation. And SCO right now is the only answer for providing
that opportunity. Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram, Executive Director, Pakistan Research Center for a Community with Shared Future. Thank you very much for joining us at Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.